record this session so that if there are people who do miss today, they can go back and watch it, because this is for credit, for college credit. So I'm going to go over our timeline for what we're doing today. And also, I want to check in and see if you all were able to watch that video from Friday that I sent via email. Maybe not. I do want you to watch that because there are some questions that I posed on the email for you. I should probably make that into an assignment so that you can get credit for it, but it is part of the class. Sorry, my phone just went off and I need to turn it off so I don't. Do you get text messages from like, hey, it's Alice, a volunteer with the Democrats. We are just 8 days out from election day. I'm like, how do you have my phone number? Like, I mean, I don't mind, but dang. It's bad enough that I get telemarketer calls. Okay, so just make sure that you go back and look for my email because I do want you to watch that and answer those questions. That is part of the class. It's like an intro with Elizabeth Gilbert, and she has written some really great books on creativity, but I'm not going to get into that. I could go on and on about her. She's amazing. So before I do that, actually, let's talk about the magazine. Hey, nice work, everyone. I am super proud. Diane, I couldn't find the Matt Gaiman spread, so that was like missing on the magazine. So if you have it, just let me know where it's at.
It should be in the Google Drive. I can re-put it in there for you.
Just double check that it's in the damn Matt Google Drive, and then I'll fix it and update the file.
All right.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so hopefully everyone took a look at it. We submitted a help desk ticket to IT at the district to see if they can unblock our website because I know it's not working on some students' Chromebooks, which is lovely. I bought the domain dammag.com just to get around that, and it's still blocked. So anyway, I will email Wayne Grimm again and see if he's heard anything. But that was submitted last week, so they probably won't get to it and for another couple days, but we're working on it. So for now it's on issue. So hopefully you all took a look at that, your beautiful work. So bravo, give yourself a pat on the back. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts?
I think it's really cool that we were able to put it together without like seeing each other at all.
Yeah.
And I think next time it might be good to have maybe a little bit less of an ambitious deadline just so that we can get everything finalized before we push it out. But I think we did good.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. An ambitious deadline, though, is pretty good because, I mean, sometimes it is hard to get work in, especially when your deadline is pushed out. But yeah, maybe a little bit more time. Diane, did you have something? How do you feel about the magazine?
I feel good.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like this issue because we didn't have like a limit on how many pages we can do. And so I feel like we just like really went crazy with this issue and I really like it.
Yeah, I do too. I got some emails back from teachers when I sent out the issue. And Mr. Sullivan in particular, he said that he talked to all of his classes about it. And there were some people who submitted to the magazine who's in one of his classes. And he was just saying like how great it was. And then Miss Matsuo, she was super proud of you all. Yeah, so there were quite a few responses to it by staff as well. So they're just really impressed with you guys and said it was fantastic. And it just, yeah, it meant a lot. So very good job. Anyone else have anything? Any thoughts or
I thought we did a really good job.
Yeah.
I mean, at the rate we're going, I mean, if we keep creating like we are for this issue with every issue, I don't think we'll run out of ideas like ever. So
Yeah, I agree. No, you guys did great. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else with that, I had one more thing with Dan Mag that oh yes, that's right. So at the Dan Mag meeting on Thursday, we chatted and we said that we really like the idea of the cozy, kind of warm, kind of hope-filled theme, the vintage kind of newspapery theme as well. People really liked that. I think we'll have to consider, you know, design-wise what that's going to look like, because not everyone has that aesthetic as their kind of design style. So so we'll have to figure that out in terms of, you know, what that looks like for everyone who's doing layout, because some of us have that style and some of us don't necessarily. So maybe collaborating or finding ways to maybe make a template or you know, 3 specific backgrounds that people can do layout on if they don't necessarily know how to do that kind of a layout. So just keep that in mind, just so we have consistency. And then, yeah, so that's all I've got for that. I'll keep you updated on the magazine website when I hear back from IT. But for now, what we're going to do is we are going to start MSD 116. This will only take a few periods. I am going to like go through this quickly with you all, but it's based around being able to think innovatively. And so we are actually going to jump into the first presentation. And so I'm going to share my screen with you. Ooh, before I share that, I need to hop off my email so I don't show you all of the conversations that it's not like I'm talking about anybody, but that's private stuff. Don't show a student your email, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Here we go. And present. All right, so week 1, this was like a few week course, but we're boiling it down. So the course is MSD 116, and essentially this class was centered around the capstone class that we did collaboration between this course as well as the capstone class for marketing. And so the main purpose of this class is to help you think creatively and innovatively when you're working as a team in a creative environment. So like an ad agency, for example, and that's why we have all of these, because the digital marketing kind of capstone class that we're doing is centered around brand marketing, creativity. I threw in the logo for Slack there because that's an app that allows people to collaborate on a team remotely. And so what we're doing is we're talking about strategy, communication channels, like the best ways to communicate with one another, getting work done for clients. And maybe we might want to talk about processes. So like, for example, it was really quick and easy to get the magazine put together digitally, but we don't have a necessarily like standardized process for that. You all sent me your PDFs and I put them together. And that might be the most efficient process, who knows? But if you can think of more efficient processes, sometimes that's better than thinking innovatively about the content itself, is learning how to make something happen faster. So you own what happens here in terms of the magazine and what we do. I'm just teaching you some ways to think creatively about the problems that we face. So it's 1 credit through Portland Community College, and the name is Creative Thinking and Innovative Change. And I'm not going to make you do the guess. So why this class? Why did we put this into the capstone? Industry professionals are requesting these skills in new hires. They are tired of holding the hands of college graduates. They say that they feel like college graduates should already come prepared to think outside the box and stop being so scared about bringing new ideas. And so this class is based around that concept of when you're given a problem, how can we solve it in a new way? To work efficiently as a group, we need procedures to feel safe and have crazy ideas to work through them. So that's part of this. This will allow you to think through difficult projects. And my opinion is inserted down there. The education system keeps us in a box, and I don't like that. So I'm all about breaking out of that. So what is creative thinking and innovative change? We want to understand what creative thinking involves. So the ability to think creatively is not necessarily something we're born with. It is a skill that we build. So this class specifically is centered around learning strategies to think differently about problems. Typically, it is a learned set of cognitive skills, including reasoning by analogy to adapt what exists. So remember, innovation is taking what currently exists and make it better. And so we're trying to think in that same way. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow ourselves to play with an idea, suspend judgment on your ideas. That's what we're going to focus on today. Because a lot of the time, whenever we have an idea about something, we don't even act on it because we're afraid that that idea won't pan out, or it's not good enough, or someone else has done that already. And creative thinkers don't think that way. And so there are ways to get around the negative thought processes that we have about our own creativity. We'll allow everyone to say their ideas. And don't stop at your first idea. Typically, your first idea isn't always the best one. Sometimes it is, but. So the first assignment we have, I am just going to hop off here really quick because I want to kind of show you first. So there is this book that I got, and it's called Thinker Toys, and it has tons of great examples of how to think creatively about a problem. And one of the activities is to first stop your negative thinking, because whenever we go to brainstorm something, we think, oh, that's a bad idea, I'm not going to write that down, or oh, that won't work, I'm not going to write it down. But in reality, if you write down an idea, even if you think it may not work because of some thing that's preventing it or possibly preventing it from happening, if you were to put that idea on paper and someone said, oh, we could totally make that happen if we do X, Y, and Z, and then it becomes the best idea. So that's why we need to stop that negative thought process when it comes to creativity. And this is an exercise to do that. So nothing is more harmful to positive creative attitudes than fears, uncertainties, and doubts, which he calls FUDs. Most people let FUDs control their lives. It's much more productive to learn how to control your fears, uncertainties, and doubts to transform destructive, negative attitudes into a new positive reality. And I definitely do that in my own business, where I might think, oh, I really want to do something to move my business forward. And I have to push past those worries and fears. And most of the time I say to myself, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And usually like nothing. Like the worst case is that nothing comes from it, which is, you know, mostly what we think or what will happen. So there's this exercise called TikTok, and it's not like the app. It's a exercise that's designed to help you overcome those fears. And so what we have to do first is we have to think of a creative goal that you have. And you all did make a creative goal with your passion project, right? So you could use that as your creative goal. You could say that your creative goal is something really epic that you want to do with the magazine. Maybe you want to make a video promoting the magazine, or you want to, I don't know, make an awesome website or make this really cool interactive page or something like that. It's totally up to you. Or maybe your creative goal is to get into the best design school in the US. I do not care what your creative goal is. I want it to be personal to you, something that you really want to do. And you're going to write that down. And then what you're going to do is you need to really think about, zero in on, and write down the negative thoughts that are preventing you from reaching your goal. You write those under the column tick. Sit quietly and examine the negatives. Learn how you are rationally twisting things and blowing them out of proportion, because we do that. I'm going to give you some examples. And then substitute an objective positive thought for each subjective negative one. And those ones go under talk. So what you're going to do is you're going to list all of your negative thoughts about it. Like for me, when I first started photography, I thought my photography isn't as good as everyone else's. It's really bad. It's not epic. No one's going to want to hire me. And so that would go under here for the tick. My portfolio is not very strong. But instead, I can twist that. I can say, who says, like, is there anyone? Are there portfolio police? No, there aren't. There's no one saying that my portfolio is bad. There might be people who love it. There might be people who hate it, but there's people who love and hate every kind of art. There are people who hate Picasso's art, but there's people who love his art. So you have to like sit and analyze and figure out a way to twist that negative into a positive. So the way that this person did it, they said, who says, I have a great craft, it's very neat, concepts make sense, it will appeal to someone looking for a designer like myself. I need to get extra help and opinions that can only lead to a better portfolio. So for me, my way to turn it around was I started out somewhere and my photos, they may not be where I want them to be, but with experience and learning and education and trying out new things, my portfolio is going to get better. So it might seem silly, but your mental state actually can prevent you from doing really great work. And so there is this podcast in this book that I'm listening to, and it's all about the mindset coach that Michael Jordan had. God, I'll pull it up eventually after this. Anyway, the mindset coach that Michael Jordan had, because Michael Jordan wanted to become better, like the best, right? And his mindset coach talked to him about this stuff where they would analyze everything. They would analyze his thought process. They would analyze every little thing that was preventing him from getting to his goals, and they would work on it. And so when it comes to the most successful people in the world, they do this work. They may not do it knowingly, but they still do it. And so I'll have to link this podcast that I listened to. It's called The Science of Success. And they look at research and they analyze everyone that they bring on the show or they talk about. They actually will analyze with data and research what makes these people super successful. And a lot of the time it's their mindset, which is kind of crazy to me, right? So this activity is actually really important when it comes to taking Dan Mag to the next level, helping us to grow personally so that we can grow as a team and make our work even better. So what I have for you on, let me pull up Canvas. I have the link here to what I just showed you. And what I want you to do is you're going to sit and think about the one creative goal that you have. It doesn't have to be for Dan Mag, it could just be in general. And I want you to list 5 ticks, so 5 like negative things that you might think about yourself or that creative goal. And then you're going to have to really work and twist it so that there's a positive instead of that negative. And that's where the talk comes. Okay. So does that make sense? Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. I will make this into an assignment so that you can take a photo of that and then you can upload it into that assignment specifically. But I do need this done before tomorrow because I want to go into, there's 5 areas of this innovation class where there's strategies for us to think about problems differently. There's synthesis, revolution, reapplication, changing direction, and evolution. And we're gonna go over those and like the brainstorming strategies and rethinking strategies that go in those. And I wanna get this class done by the end of Thursday. So we're gonna go fast and furious through this so that we can get started on working on the next issue of the magazine, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you have the rest of the period to complete your TikTok, which sounds so weird. I mean, if you wanna make a TikTok about this, you totally can. And then you're gonna take a photo of it. I will have the assignment linked in the calendar for today. And then you're going to turn it in, okay? Any questions about that? Okay. So I'm gonna hop off of here. If you're like really stuck, please email me and maybe we could problem solve and work through it. But you all are very, very smart and I know that you're capable of doing this inward reflection. And then I do have that example linked in the calendar for you. Okay. All right. Well, go ahead, hop off Zoom and I will chat with you all tomorrow. All right. Bye, everyone.